Does every step you take feel like your knees are grinding against one another, or have you noticed that your balance just isn't what it used to be lately, no matter how much you try to walk it off? What if I told you that the very thing you put on every morning to protect your feet and keep you active is actually the silent saboteur behind your joint pain and poor alignment? It is a frustrating reality that many of us face as we get older. We feel that nagging ache in our joints and we assume it is just the inevitable tax of time, but the truth is often found much lower down, right under your soles. I know how it feels to start second-guessing that morning walk or feeling a bit unsteady when you are just trying to enjoy a stroll in the park. It can be discouraging and even a little scary to feel your mobility slipping away, but I want you to know right now that it is not too late to make a change. Growing older does not mean giving up. It simply means we have to start using smarter strategies. The pain you are feeling might not just be aging. There is a hidden culprit sitting in your closet right now, a set of common shoe features that almost everyone thinks are harmless or even helpful, but are actually forcing your knees into positions they were never meant to handle. In this video, we are going to uncover the 5 deadly shoe features that are secretly ruining your knee alignment, and more importantly, I'm going to show you exactly what to look for instead so you can regain your strength, your balance, and your freedom. By the time we are done today, you will have a clear roadmap to choosing footwear that supports your body rather than working against it, helping you walk with confidence again. Before we jump into our first hidden culprit, if you care about staying healthy, mobile, and independent in your golden years, please consider subscribing to our channel and turning on those notifications. We share the kind of practical senior health insights that doctors often overlook in a busy appointment. And while you are at it, I would love to know who I am talking to today. Are you joining us from the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, or somewhere else across the globe? Drop a comment below and let me know where you are from. I am always so curious to see how far our community of proactive seniors reaches. Now, let's talk about the first feature that is likely deceiving you. And this one is a bit of a shocker because it is something we are often told is a good thing. I'm talking about excessive pillow-like cushioning. We have all seen those modern walking shoes that look like you're stepping onto a giant marshmallow. They feel incredibly soft the moment you slide your foot in, and you might think you're doing your joints a favor by adding all that padding. But here's the simple science of why this is actually a trap for your knees. Your feet are designed to be your body's primary sensory organ for the ground. They have thousands of nerve endings that tell your brain exactly where you are in space. When you put a thick, unstable foam mattress between your foot and the floor, you are essentially blindfolding your feet. Imagine trying to walk across a room filled with deep, soft sand. Your ankles wobble, your feet hunt for stability. And where does all that wobbling go? It travels straight up the kinetic chain to your knees because your foot cannot find a firm foundation. Your knee has to work overtime to stabilize your entire body weight. This creates what we call micro-instability. Every time you take a step, your knee is doing these tiny, jagged adjustments that wear down the cartilage over time. According to biomechanics research, seniors who wear overly cushioned, unstable shoes often show a significant increase in knee abduction moments, which is just a fancy way of saying the knee is being pulled into an unnatural angle. Think of it like a house built on a foundation of sponges. Eventually, the walls are going to start to crack. If you want to protect those knees, you need a shoe that is firm enough to provide feedback to your brain while still being flexible. You don't need to walk on concrete, but you do need to feel the earth beneath you. Moving on to our second culprit, and this one is a classic mistake that has been pushed by the fashion industry for decades, the narrow toe box. Take a look at your shoes right now. Do they come to a point or a narrow taper at the front? If they do, you are essentially putting your feet in a straitjacket. Your toes are meant to splay out when you walk, acting like the wide base of a kickstand on a bicycle. When you cram your toes together, your big toe is pushed inward, which weakens the arch of your foot. When the arch collapses or loses its strength, the lower leg bone, the tibia, rotates inward as well. This creates a devastating ripple effect. When that lower leg bone rotates inward, it forces the knee to cave in toward the midline of your body. Picture a bridge where the support beams are leaning toward each other. Eventually, the whole structure becomes unstable. For many of us, this shows up as that sharp pain on the inside of the knee. I remember a gentleman named John who came to me complaining that he couldn't walk more than 10 minutes without his knees throbbing. When we looked at his shoes, his toes were so cramped they were actually overlapping. Within weeks of switching to a shoe with a wide, natural toe box that allowed his toes to spread out, his knee alignment improved and that sharp inner knee pain began to fade. It is a simple fix, but it makes a world of difference. You want your shoe to be shaped like a human foot, not like a narrow wedge. Giving your toes room to breathe isn't just about comfort. It is about giving your knees the stable base they deserve. I hope you are finding these insights helpful so far. If you are learning something new, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps us reach more seniors who might be struggling with joint pain without knowing why. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now is a great time to join us as we move into the next few points, which are arguably the most important. The third deadly feature is something called a high heel to toe drop. Most people think of high heels as something you only see at a fancy dinner, but the truth is most modern sneakers and walking shoes have a hidden heel. If you look at the profile of your shoe, you might notice the heel is significantly thicker than the front of the shoe. This creates a permanent downhill slope for your foot. Even a small lift of half an inch can completely shift your center of gravity. When your heel is elevated, your body naturally wants to fall forward. To keep you from face planting, your brain tells your knees to stay slightly bent and shifts your weight onto the front of your legs. This puts a constant shearing force on the patella or your kneecap. It is like trying to stand on a steep ramp all day long. Your quads have to stay engaged and your knees are under constant tension. Studies published in journals of clinical biomechanics have shown that even a moderate heel lift increases the pressure on the knee joint by over 20%. For a senior already dealing with a bit of arthritis, that extra 20% is like pouring fuel on a fire. You want to look for shoes that are described as low drop or zero drop. This allows your heel and the ball of your foot to sit on the same level, just as nature intended. It might feel a bit different at first, like your calves are stretching more, but your knees will thank you for taking that constant pressure off the joint. Remember, it is not about making a massive change overnight, but gradually moving toward a flatter, more natural position will spare your joints years of unnecessary wear and tear. Now, let's talk about the fourth feature, which is one that often catches people off guard because it sounds like it should be helpful excessive arch support. Now, don't get me wrong, some people need a little bit of support, but many modern shoes come with these rock-hard, rigid arch inserts that act like a cast for your foot. Think about what happens when you put your arm in a cast for 6 weeks. When the cast comes off, your muscles have shriveled up because they haven't had to do any work. Your foot has 29 different muscles that are designed to support your arch naturally. When a shoe does all the work for you, those muscles go to sleep and become weak. The arch is meant to be a dynamic shock absorber. It should flatten slightly when you step and spring back when you lift your foot. If you lock that arch in place with a rigid support, the shock of your foot hitting the pavement doesn't get absorbed by the foot. It travels straight up and slams into your knee joint. It is like driving a car with no suspension. Every bump in the road is felt in the frame. Many seniors find that by slowly transitioning to shoes that allow the foot to move more naturally, they actually build up the strength in their feet and find that their knee pain decreases because the foot is finally doing its job of absorbing impact again. It is about empowering your body to work the way it was designed rather than relying on a permanent crutch. Before we get to our final point, which might be the most common mistake of all, I want to remind you that knowledge is power. It might feel a little overwhelming to realize your favorite shoes might be causing issues, but now that you know you have the power to fix it, you are taking charge of your health right now, and that is something to be proud of. Small tweaks in your footwear can lead to huge leaps in your quality of life. Imagine being able to go for that walk with your grandkids or navigate the grocery store without having to look for a place to sit down every 5 minutes. That is what we are working toward here. This brings us to our fifth and final deadly feature, the rigid, inflexible sole. Have you ever owned a pair of shoes that felt like you were walking on planks of wood? If you try to bend the shoe at the ball of the foot and it doesn't budge, that shoe is a problem for your knees. When you walk, your foot needs to roll, your big toe needs to bend so you can push off efficiently. If the shoe is too stiff, your foot cannot roll, so your body has to find another way to move you forward. Usually, this means you start to swing your leg out to the side or you hike your hip up, both of which put a twisting, torsional strain on the knee. The knee is primarily a hinge joint. It likes to go back and forth. It absolutely hates being twisted. A rigid sole forces that twist into every single step you take. Think about how many steps you take in a day. Thousands of tiny twists are being forced into your knee joint because your shoe won't bend. You want a shoe that has a flexible forefoot. You should be able to easily bend the front of the shoe upward. This allows for a natural gait cycle where the energy flows smoothly from your heel through to your toes, protecting the knee from those harmful lateral forces. To recap what we have covered today, we want to stay away from shoes that are overly cushioned and unstable, shoes with narrow toe boxes that cramp our foundation, high heel drops that shift our weight forward, excessive arch supports that weaken our muscles, and rigid soles that prevent our feet from moving naturally. Instead, look for a shoe that is firm but flexible, has a wide toe box, a low or zero drop, and allows your foot to function as the incredible piece of biological engineering that it is. As we wrap up today, I want to leave you with a thought. Your body is a miracle of resilience. It is always trying to heal, always trying to find balance, and always trying to keep you moving. Even if you have been wearing the wrong shoes for years, your body can respond to better choices starting today. Growing older is inevitable, but becoming immobile is not. By making these simple changes to what you put on your feet, you are giving your knees a fighting chance. You're choosing to stay independent. You're choosing to keep exploring the world around you. I know it can be a struggle. I know there are days when the pain feels like too much, but please don't give up on yourself. You have so many more miles to walk and so many more memories to make. Every better pair of shoes you choose is a vote for your future freedom. You are not alone in this journey. We are all learning and growing together. Now I would love to hear from you. Which of these 5 shoe features surprised you the most? Do you have a pair of shoes in your closet right now that you suspect might be the culprit? Or perhaps you have already made a switch and seen an improvement in your knee pain? Share your story in the comments below. I read every single one, and our community learns so much from each person's experience. Your comment might be the exact encouragement someone else needs to hear today. And if you found this video valuable, please hit that like button and share it with a friend or a loved one who might be struggling with their mobility. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss out on these science-backed tips for thriving in your golden years. If you are still with me and you are determined to stay strong and keep those knees healthy, type a 1 in the comments to let me know you are committed to making a change. If you have doubts, type a 0. I want to hear your honest thoughts. Stay strong, stay healthy, and remember, your independence is carried by your legs, so let's give them the support they truly need. Keep taking those small steps for your health because they truly do add up to giant strides in your freedom. I will see you in the next video.